Hello and welcome back to another video. We have another Gundam this week, except this time I'll actually be building it this time. Because last time I just had them pre-built already. Started with the head. But this stupid head wouldn't frickin' go together without me like shoving it together! Anyway. I started off building parts like the waist and the shoulder parts, where all the different arms and stuff will attach to. So, you know. But one of the key things that was really annoying is I lost quite a lot of footage of me putting parts of it together, so I'm quite sorry about that. I don't really have a solution. You know, I put all of them together, like the legs, the top parts, started to piece together the different wing pieces, and all that jazz. Again, sorry about missing a ton of the footage. I don't really know where it went. I don't know how this keeps happening. Genuinely don't know how. I do have to admit, for this kit, this was actually a pretty good kit. Most of it went together pretty well. My only complaint was the head. The head was annoying. But everything else was really well designed, I do have to admit. It's basin time. You know, I pulled out base random. I think it's like a lid to like a protein container or something like that. Who knows? Over a long period of time, I had this little piece of cardboard that I would hold my hot glue gun over, and over time, that's built up. Finally, had enough where I decided to use it for the base of this model. So I grabbed a ton of hot glue and glued it on, and used even more hot glue to blend it into the base. And then grabbed the other piece of that hot glue thing, flipped it over, and kind of glued it in as if it was some sort of like cliff face, some sort of like jutting out rock. I then grabbed these 3D printed parts that were like extra scraps from one of my friends who has a 3D printer. I don't have one. I wish I did. I really do. But he had all these scraps that I took because I was going to use them for a base, and I mean, I did. When I blend them in more later with like texture paste, but I kind of just use them to build up some of the terrain and make like kind of, I don't know, like big stones kind of. I then glued the Gundam's legs actually down into his fixed pose that he will forever be in, and he will never leave. Ever. Then I had an idea where I wanted to add some sort of plant life or mushrooms, so I took my old friend's 3D printed ports that he kept, and used them as like stems for these mushrooms that I'm going to make. And I mean, they worked really well. They look surprisingly good. Air dry clay. Slang that I've experimented with a few times, but it's basically kind of this like wet sort of clay. It's kind of like a foamy texture that once it dries, well, I mean, it hardens. But I decided to use these to sculpt all of the tops of like the mushroom caps. So I sculpted one. I'd like make a little ball, spread it out, put it on the top of the stem, and then use my ball styluses to add texture to all of them, because I wanted them to be all like bumpy and like textured, because I didn't want that to be boring. But I also made some variations of the mushrooms, so like this one I like made into this like ball thing that I wrapped around the top and then put a ton of holes in. I know there's a mushroom that kind of looks like that. I don't know what it's called though. I then repeated this mushroom cap making process quite a few more times to cover all the stems. I then grabbed the forbidden peanut butter. they'll find that bit funny, even if you don't. Then I used this texture paste and layered it all over the model, kind of blending in all these different rugged bits of hot glue and cardboard and these little 3D printed pieces, and the model itself, making it look like he was kind of in the terrain. So yeah, I basically just blended everything together with this texture paste and, you know, made it like, I almost want to say harmonious. There's a word for it that I won't remember, like I always do. I then fully glued my boy into the position he was going to be in, and it was kind of just ready for paint. I tried to do it without doing a black spray paint by making this cartoony effect, but I didn't like it, if that's why you see the black lines. So, on to the painting instead. For this guy, I decided I wanted to do kind of a trippy effect, similar to what I was going to paint the mushrooms, if that makes sense. Kind of like acid trip, kind of like that. So I first grabbed my dark blue metallic and layered this up on all the bottom of up his feet, kind of up to his knees, and then grabbed a lighter blue metallic and then blended that and layered that up from the knees to, like, I think the waist. I then used a purple and blended that in with the light color, the light like blue metallic, and layered this up kind of to like the chest and body area. And then for all of his weapons and his shield, so like his gun and his shield, and head actually as well, I decided to use a metallic green and layered that up on all of the parts, so the head and the shield and the gun. I'm just repeating myself again. Oh well. I then grabbed a metallic red to use for the like ship on the back of his body, and just kind of layered this over the entire thing. I don't think I have footage of it, but I also layered up a slight like pinky metallic above this as well. Then it was time to work on the base, so I grabbed this like muddy brown and just kind of wet blend / dry brushed it all over all the rocky terrain, all of the base. Basically just all of the base, all of it. And then I grabbed this kind of like creamy white and put this on all the stems of all of the mushrooms, and, you know, also slightly blended that color into the base as well, just kind of fit it all together. I then decided to grab this kind of more orangey color and dry brush this all over the base. Don't know why my brain was like, ooh, I want it to be brighter, but I just did. So I layered this up, and it actually turned out quite well. And then above this, I layered up like this white creamy color that I also had a bit of red mixed in by accident, but in the end it looked fine. I then grabbed these same metallic colors that I used on the robot itself and put these all over the different mushrooms, painting them green, red, purple, blue, teal, all of those metallics I had just used. I then wanted to do highlights and everything, and I decided to use paint pens because I found that would be the easiest on this kind of model. So first, for all the green bits, I grabbed this like lime green paint pen and used this to, well, highlight all the green bits. Then for like the backpack / ship / whatever the frick it is, and I grabbed like this light pinky and used this to highlight all of the edges on this part of the model. Then it was time to highlight the actual full model itself. So first I highlighted all the purple bits with like a lilac-y, so basically slightly brighter purple, and use this on all of the purple bits, highlighting all the edges. Dang, that really makes a difference. Like, it genuinely made such a difference on this model, because at this stage I was kind of like, I don't know if I like it. I wasn't very happy with it, but then the paint markers started to actually make me like it, kind of, so that was good. So then I grabbed this teal marker, layered this up on all the blue bits. It was very striking and went really well with the purple one, so the French keys, very good, very good. I then assembled the entire model, and I called it good.